What is up, comic fam? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be taking a look at probably the most iconic indie comics character to have ever existed. Today we're going to be taking a comic close up of none other than Spawn. Be sure to check out bigtimecollectibles.com if you're in the market for any amazing high-end ratios or retailer exclusives. You can follow them on Instagram as well as Facebook. And if you need anything cleaned or pressed, hit up Justin Comics over on Instagram for as little as $10 a book. He can take care of you. Use that promo code WeAreLegion and take advantage of that buy two, get one free offer that he's running. All right, guys, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about none other than Spawn. Probably, like I said, the most iconic independent comic character that has ever existed. I mean, he's really stood the test of time. So let's not waste any of our time and let's get right into it. So, Spawn was created by none other than the Todd father himself, the bad boy of comics, Todd McFarlane. Everyone knows he left Marvel Comics and went and created Image Comics. And when he got there, he created this amazing character and rolled him out in Spawn issue number 1 in May of 1992. The character definitely stuck. Tons of people still pick this book up today. It spawned numerous other characters like Medieval Spawn, She Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn. There's a whole Spawn universe now. He's got over 315 issues, breaking records for the longest running creator owned property out there. But these aren't the ones we'll be talking about today. We're going to be focusing on the original Al Simmons himself. Now, Al was a mercenary and a special forces officer who was killed in the line of duty and stabbed in the back by Chapel and his boss, Jason Wynn. And once he got to hell, he made a deal with the devil of the Image universe. It's pretty much the Mephisto of Image Comics, and his name was Malbolgia, and he scored a deal with him to get a chance to return back to Earth to find his wife. So before we go any farther with this, let's take a look inside the pages of Spawn issue number 1 for today's comic close-up. Here we go. Spawn issue number 1 from Image Comics, created by Todd McFarlane, written by Todd McFarlane. Beautiful cover art and interiors by Todd McFarlane. As you see, Spawn makes an amazing first appearance on this big, glorious cover here. The colors are amazing. Image was working with some awesome materials in their time era. And yeah, let's check it out. So it starts off with a little bit of narration of a person trying to gain their senses of what's going on. And as you see, this is one of the ones that has the splotches to it as well. If you know, you know. About half the books went out had this color era on them, but there's not make them any more rare. It's about 50-50 with the millions of copies that were made. But getting right to it, it's talking about how this character chose to come back, and it takes us straight to a city where we get like this whole Dark Knight Returns feel vibe to it, but you get silhouette, and right there you get his eyes, and it's him trying to make sense of being back, not having all of his memories. And then it cuts straight to news reports where it's talking about Al Simmons' death and the memorial and the way that it went with his wife being upset and everything. And these huge pages with these overstuffed dialogue is kind of one of Todd McFarlane's tropes, which I enjoy him sometimes I don't, but it kind of throws back to a flashback of Al Simmons, how he was a mercenary and an agent for the government and everything, and how he gets double crossed, and he kind of remembers getting blown up savagely there. You see a cool ad here with Todd McFarlane himself selling some Spider-Man stuff in an Image book. But then you get flashes of the woman he's in love with. It's his wife, Wanda. Flashes of Malbolgia. So there's the first appearance of Malbolgia in here as well. It's him making that deal and how just trying to make sense of everything and him coming back again. And this is the first little glimpse we get of what's his little energy ticker there. And talking about how Malbolgia lied to him. This is the first great picture we get of him in here. spikes on the knuckles. Like, it's just such a cool costume design. It's obviously similar to like Spider-Man, Venom. It is a symbiote he's wearing and everything. But look at this beautiful page. It gives us a full 2-page splash right there. Just beautiful art. It's talking about how he's going to find the man who framed him and find this woman in his dreams and whatnot. And then it cuts to Sam and Twitch. These are reoccurring characters in the Spawn universe here that are on the case of another murdered bad guy who is savagely murdered, thrown out the 44th story of a building, and it didn't kill him. He had his heart ripped out after the fact. So this book is pretty violent. All these Spawn stuff was very edgy. It cuts to him in an alley stopping a bunch of muggers who are attempting to rape this woman, and he stops them pretty violently. Of course, throws them through the windshield and blows one of them up on the next page coming up. But we got a poster on the inside. Gorgeous art, as you would expect. I mean, look at that. It just pops. But another one talks trash to him, and he takes his finger and takes a little piece of energy and just flings it. And as it's passing by him, it explodes. So yeah, just violent, man. It was really edgy. And being a kid seeing this, it was something else. But as he flips through, he checks on the woman, and he has flashes where his memories are coming back to him, and he doesn't understand him. And this is a great shot right here with him just screaming in fear and in pain. And obviously his mouth is covered by a suit, but you can see like the attention to detail with this line work and everything. You can just tell he's just screaming in agony, even though his face is completely covered. But he has these flashes. He's seeing Wanda, trying to remember who she is and why. It kind of comes to him that it's his wife and everything. And just fast forward, and you got the woman that he just saved trying to help him now. More news reports on what's going on and everything, and kind of mentions the young blood here, which is interesting. They mentioned it. That was like the first image rollout, as well as the guy who killed Spawn, as I mentioned before, Chapel. He was part of the young blood team. And so he finally gets to the alley here, trying to just kind of regain his senses and make sense of where he is, what he is, because again, he doesn't have all of his memories, and grabs his mask, pulls it off, and he realizes the condition that he's in and just how big of a lie everything that he thought was. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this issue. It kind of just leaves it on a what am I note. Very sad. He's crying in the alley. Sam and Twitch working on the cases, and Malbolgia there just soaking it all up. If you think you have problems now, I promise your troubles have just began. So next issue, the Violator, probably the most iconic Spawn villain in my opinion. But got a little ad in the back for Pit by Dale Kwan, famous Hulk artist. And then very appropriately, because of last week's close-up, but George Perez included an illustration of Spawn in here as well. So we get to the back, and that's a wrap for this. But it's definitely a must-own book for any comic collector. Spawn issue number. So as you see, there's all kinds of amazing art in this book. It kind of covers a lot of different things, from like the regular street level crime stuff to kind of just like the despair that he goes through, like his personal identity. It goes ahead and hints at the whole devil thing and how that's about to be like a big theme coming up with the way it cliffhanged at the end. We got the introduction of Sam and Twitch in there. It kind of already introduced us to the idea that his boss set him up, so you know that stuff that they're going to have to deal with later. But also the level of violence was really shocking. Like the 90s really went hard. It shows in this book, from like the people getting their hearts ripped out to the attempted sexual assault on that woman. But it was also really cool, all the tricks that Image was known for doing. They included like that poster in there and everything, and there's all kinds of cool ads. Like the fact that Todd McFarlane was selling his own Spider-Man stuff inside of an Image Comics book, that's baffling to me. But this book, like I said is earlier, it just kept on keeping on. It still pushes on till today. And even back in the day with Image Comics exploding, this book managed to spawn his own movie back in 1997. Michael Jai White starred as Spawn himself for the live action theatrical film. And it ended up doing over 87.9 million. People do look back at it today and kind of make fun of it a little bit. But me, when I saw it as a 10-year-old, I absolutely loved it. The special effects are what they are, but I thought that it was definitely a fun movie. And that wasn't the only place he was at. If you had HBO back in the day, they did 3 seasons on HBO of an animated, hard R-rated, very true adaptation TV show. Keith David did the voice for Spawn, and you should be able to go on HBO Max now and watch it. It should be on there. I didn't think to actually check, but pretty much their whole catalog is there. And the book still pretty much holds up till this day. Like I said, they're still pumping out issues. They've expanded it to a whole universe. And you can pick up raw copies for this book from anywhere between like $20 to upwards of $50. The last couple of sales were $27 and $36 for the raws. But those 9.8s are selling anywhere between, as you see, $185 and $250 right now. That's just for the standard, not for the what is it, the newsstand copies or the signature series copies. And this is one of the most easy to find signature books out there. It was such a heavily printed book. Millions were sold, and they're just anywhere you need them, you can find them pretty much. But that's going to pretty much wrap it up for today. I do want to give a big thank you to all the channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you see a name up on here you're not familiar with, be sure to look them up on Instagram or over there on or over here on YouTube. They're probably putting out some content themselves. And if you're thinking about joining the channel, there's a blue button down below right next to subscribe. It says join. Hit that. You can become a member of the Legion, and we get you in there for that monthly giveaway box. I'm about to be posting on Instagram here any day the books included for the December giveaway. So be sure to hop over to the Instagram and check out what all is included in this month's giveaway. And until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.